A high school shooting made during the pandemic. I can't help but think that the release of this movie isn't going to stand the test of time. Last the night. Let's do it. That's right, everybody. My name is Kevin Halden. I am back, and this is Nerdly Out Loud, the official channel of nerdly.co.uk, your favourite British home for all your news, reviews, and exclusive interviews. Tonight, I am reviewing a movie with Brian Austin Green about a high school shooting and the pandemic rolled into one that I can't help but feel like timing's not very good on this one, given what's going on in America right now and in the news. It's everywhere. I don't know, maybe there's a statement in here that they wanted to make sure they got out there, so that's why they released it. But we're going to talk about the movie Last the Night. But first of all, please do all those amazing, wonderful things that help us grow, help us show, and help this channel. And that is to like, subscribe, and ding that notification bell. The notification bell will let you know whenever I drop a brand new episode, whether it's a review, an interview. I got my Matt Hookins interview down there for Prize Fight. I'll be reviewing that soon. Anything like that, it will let you know whenever I drop something, so you don't have to go looking for me. But this is probably going to be a pretty quick review, so we may as well just get straight into it. We're talking about the movie Last the Night, Brian Austin Green. Wait, Brian Austin Green? That's the guy from 90210 that was married to Megan Fox, right? Yeah, she really traded up MGK. What? Like, I love a bit of MGK, by the way. Like, you know, whatever. But let's get into this review. Whether you love me, whether you hate me, you probably know how these episodes go by now. The review episodes go with a very simple formula that I will not be changing until somebody tells me otherwise. And that is where I will start with the plot of this movie. I will move into the cast and the crew of this movie. I'll talk about what I did and what I didn't like about this movie. And then I will move into my final rating of this movie. That is the Nerdly Out Loud rating. It is not the rating of Nerdly as a whole. Phil tells me that contractually I have to say that in every video. It kind of feels like it's getting a little bit old, but he says I have to do it contractually. Last the Night is the story of John Dunbar. John Dunbar is a teacher working through the pandemic and everything like that. He's having to do everything over Zoom with these kids. And of course, as we all know, teaching kids over Zoom was a ball ache. And it is a ball ache for John Dunbar. He's not a big fan of it. But he teaches history, he loves history, and he's trying to get through to these kids. I really like these opening moments of the movie when he's doing this. But what you find out is that they have very little respect for the man. His marriage is in the toilet, it's going down the pan, and obviously the pandemic's going on outside, so he's a little bit worried about all of that. And these kids just have very little respect for him. So much so that when he ends up locking the call off, but he can still hear on his side, he hears them talking shit about him. Basically calling him a bit of a nonce because he likes one of the kids that he's kind of trying to get through to. Not in that way, get your mind out the gutter, but he wants to really try and be an impression on this girl, and hopefully she'll learn and she'll grow because she has some sort of intelligence that he can see. So he overhears this, but at the same time he also overhears that these kids are going to break into the school one night and have a little bit of a paintball fight. And of course, being the awesome teacher that he is, he phones the police and lets them know that no, he doesn't do that. He goes there armed to the fucking teeth to teach these kids a lesson. School is apparently in. So he basically gets to the school, decides he's going to teach the kids a lesson, and starts showing them that paintballing's fun, but shooting people's even more fun. And I'm making light of the situation, but I think that's because I kind of... there's tactful ways of telling this story, and there's tactful ways of doing this. Like, did you ever see Gus Van Sant's Elephant? Now, that was a movie based on Columbine, but it was done tactfully, beautifully. Even Yui Bowl managed to make a movie about a high school shooting that wasn't just glorifying everything in Heart of the City. This movie, it isn't necessarily about a high school shooting, but you're a bit close to the knuckle for me. And I think if you're going to do this, you have to kind of serve the purpose. And I'm not sure this film does that. I think it thinks it's doing that, but I'm not sure it does. So let's talk about the cast and the crew. Brian Austin Green is clearly the star of this movie, and that's great because I quite like Brian Austin Green as an actor. We've seen him grow through the years, we've seen him do multiple things, and I don't mind him as an actor. He's pretty good. However, this is very much Brian Austin Green's movie, and John Dunbar, the character's movie. And I don't really think he has any redeemable qualities to speak of. Maybe I just missed that in the movie, but he's doing what he's doing through some sort of patriotic sort of belief. And maybe that's what they're trying to say. Maybe that's the message. But I don't feel like I learned anything from him. He kind of goes in there to terrorize these kids because they said some nasty, ill shit. Well, guess what? Kids are going to say nasty, ill shit about you, especially if you're the teacher. And let's be honest, you're a bit of a creep. So anyway, when he gets there and he starts doing what he's doing and kind of systematically terrorizing these kids, even killing some of these kids, I kind of didn't really understand what his motive was anymore. It didn't feel like he was trying to teach them a lesson of any sort. It just felt like, I'm going to do this because I've already made my mind up and it's going to happen. I did like McKenna Taylor as Sadie. This is the girl that he kind of has a little bit of an eye on. And I don't mean eye on as in a fancy for. He kind of feels like she has a certain level of intelligence way above the rest of the class. So he wants to nurture that, grow that, as any good teacher should. And that part, I was on board with. And I thought to myself, well, maybe he might just kill one or two of these kids and then teach Sadie the lesson. And I guess he sort of, in a roundabout way, does that. But make no mistake, in my head, he was fully intent that he was going to kill her at some point, which is what confuses me. So let's talk about what I didn't like. I didn't really like the premise of the movie. I liked the way the movie started, and we were doing something quite interesting here. And then when it kind of got into the paintball stuff, I quite liked the idea of them doing the paintball, and I thought, he's going to teach them a lesson by a paintball, but no, he pulls out the real gun with the real bullets, and that's when I kind of went, you might have lost me here. You might have lost me. It's not your fault. It's probably my fault. Maybe I'm just that way inclined. But you kind of lost me when it became more about killing the kids than it did about teaching anyone a lesson. And that's just John Dunbar. That's the way his mind was. I get it. It's a psychological breakdown of a man during pandemic, man who's lost his wife, man who's lost his marriage, a man who's basically just on his way down. You know, like there's not much further this guy can fall. I get all of that, and you're telling me all of that, and I'm seeing all of that. I just need something to cling on to, some redeeming thing that I can cling on to that's going to make me stick with this guy. Because when we get to that point where we may have a SWAT team in front of him, I don't really think I should be sitting there thinking, yeah, just take him out, I'm all good with that. Like, I should kind of be rooting for him. I think, maybe? I don't know. But what I will say is, it's made well. The movie is made well. It does make coherent sense. It goes from point A to point B. It tells a coherent story. It looks good. Nick Leisure, the director, has done a decent job of making this movie. I'm just not sure what the message was. And that's my fault, not his fault. I'm sure he did get it out there. And I'm pretty sure people out there who watch this movie will get it 100 times more than I did. Maybe it's because I'm not American. Maybe I just don't get that kind of thing. It's a thing that happens over there a lot. Shouldn't, but it does. And maybe that's it. Maybe I just don't get that. So for me, when it comes to my final rating, and this is going to seem pretty harsh because I do genuinely think that there is a good movie in here. If you had have told me the story a little bit differently, I might have got it. But I do like the way the movie looks. But I've got to go right down the line and give this a 2.5. It was nearly a 2 on account of Brian Austin Green's character just not making a lick of sense to me. Like, I don't know. I get it, you can be patriotic and you can be so like dead set in your ways and you can be so like, this is happening. But I thought I was going to be getting told a lesson here. There's like this whole setup where they're doing like, there's like a stage and they're in sort of like the playhouse bit and he's sitting in the chairs and two of them are down on the stage. One of them's tied up and he's got a gun to her and he's like, I'm going to ask you some questions. It's going to be some history questions. I kind of thought this is your moment to tell me what this movie is actually doing, and I don't think I got it. So that, again, probably on me, I don't know. I'm going to give it a 2.5 because there were aspects that I did enjoy. There was just a lot of stuff I didn't enjoy. So it's right down the middle. It's 2.5. I feel terrible for doing that. 2.5 out of 5. But honestly, that's the best I can give this movie. Should you watch it? Absolutely. You should watch everything. And this is a movie. There's a good little movie here. It just didn't tick all my boxes. And again, that's that. So 2.5 out of 5, I am going to go now. If you get the chance to check the movie out, please do let me know what you thought of it. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know where you lie on it, what you think the motivations were, what you think they're trying to say, what you think the script is doing. I maybe just completely missed the point. Maybe it's an American versus British thing. I don't know. Maybe it's all those things. Maybe it's none of those things. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. We'll talk about it, and I will reach out and I will talk to anybody who wants to about this movie. Director Nick Leisure, writer Tom Chilco, if you think I've been too harsh, please do reach out and let me know what you thought, and we will talk about what I thought and what you think and what you were doing. See you next time. I've got more reviews coming. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and ding that notification bell, and let me know you saw this. Please do let everyone know about the channel, let everyone know about Nerdly. Nerdly will be back very soon with another video, and yeah, so I'm gonna go.